Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're making a special card, and it's one where you can slip a gift card inside of it, and it's a flip open pop-up kind of card with this Karen Burniston die set, and it's the cupcake die set. So off camera I went ahead and die cut all of the pieces. There are pieces for some decoration, pieces for some small cupcakes, and then for larger cupcakes. And so I'm just going to show you how to assemble these. You can go ahead and use the bottom piece and make an accordion fold to give it some dimension on that piece. You just clip off the very end piece of a second one of those, and then when you glue that on, it will hold that zigzag fold so that it kind of stands out and gives you that cupcake paper texture. So you can see it kind of holds up that stand-up texture. And then you go ahead and just attach the bottom cupcake paper that you just created, and just go ahead and glue that onto your cupcake top. And in doing this, I am using art glitter glue in a small fine tip bottle, and I just really like that. And you can see that texture that pokes up with that particular cupcake. Now I'm going to make another one without doing the zigzag fold. I'm just going to assemble it flat, and so that you can see the two different looks. I actually think they both look good. I don't think one is necessarily a lot better than another. And when you want a card that sits flatter, it's probably better to assemble them flat. So there's bows, there's squiggles, there is a cherry decoration that you can put on these, and you can just decorate them in whatever way you like and that you think looks good. So here's just several. I also went ahead and used glossy accents on the cherries to give them a little bit of dimension and shine. So here I'm showing you the two different sizes of cupcakes, the large and the small. And here's a bunch of assembled ones. And I keep the pieces all together in glassine bags. And I often will keep those right in the sleeve where I have put the Karen Burniston dies. And that way I can keep them all together when I'm ready to use them. So first thing you do is, once you've cut the die out of your back paper, you want to go through and find all the folds and reinforce the folds so that when all is said and done, that whole piece folds flat. And then I just reinforce those folds with a bone folder or a scraper tool. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut some backing for this. And this is a 6x9 piece. And so when the card is completed, it will be a 6x4.5 size card. And so you go ahead and make that folded pop-up piece fit right in the fold of your decorative cardstock, and then cover all of the outside part of that with glue. And then I just stick it into the center, make sure it's well centered, and then just press it down and put a weight on it and let it go ahead and let that glue set up. And while I'm letting that set up, I go ahead and work on another card or two and just make several at a time as sort of an assembly line. Once that is set up, you can open it up, and now you're going to adhere the other half of your die cut piece into that decorative cardstock. So now when you open it up, you can see that all of those pieces pop up and go up and down easily with nothing catching, and that's what you want for this part of the card. Then go through and take your assembled cupcakes and find one that looks good with your paper color that you're going to glue right into that little space where the main cupcake is going to sit. And you see that it leaves a little bit of a paper border around it. And I like how that looks. And I was looking for colors that would stand out against that cardstock that I cut out the pop-up feature from. And I went ahead and pulled out a whole bunch of the smaller cupcakes, put glue on the front of the bottom pop-up feature, and then I'm gluing on smaller cupcakes right onto that front. And they're not all the way to the bottom. I left just the smallest little sliver of space at the bottom so that when these are all adhered, you can fold it flat and nothing catches. And so that just creates a really nice little front panel. Now, I wanted to add a sentiment, and the one I have says, "Have a sweet day." I thought that went along really well with the cupcake theme. And I will list below in the description under the video all of the materials I use with links so that you can access them too if you would like. So I just backed that with some of the same cardstock that I used for the outside of the card, and then I went ahead and adhered that on. Here I'm working on a second card, so you'll see a couple of different variations of this, and I marked where that pop-up feature comes, and then I went ahead and cut that out using both scissors and a paper trimmer so that I could cut out that notch so that this paper could fit perfectly into the notch of the card, as you will see here. And that way I get a nice background that coordinates. So I went ahead and glued that down with my same glue with the fine tip bottle, and then just slipped it in around that pop-up area and just adhered that down really well. And then I really like to go ahead and weight it periodically to make sure everything is holding down. Here I'm gluing on another one of the cupcakes just because this is a different colorway with this card, but it's assembled in just the same way that I did the previous one. So now for the outside, I like to just repeat what I've used on the inside so that I'm not creating a whole different look. So I'm just using some of the patterned paper, another one of the big cupcakes, and then I had this sentiment that just says happy birthday that I cut out with my die cut machine, and I did a double layer of this, two of them, glued them together so there's a little bit of dimension, it's a little stronger, and then just put that right on the outside. So once I put my weight on there and let it set, it's good to go. Then to finish this off, I wanted to have just a little spot to write a sentiment, so I glued that inside the card, and then I'm going to add a little embellishment with that with another one of the tiny cupcakes. I just really like this set. I think the cupcakes are fun, they're whimsical, they're pretty, and they just work together to make a really fun, easy, and pretty pop-up card. So here's one of the other ways I'm doing this. In the first card, I put down 4 of the mini cupcakes on that rise up pop-up panel, and this time I'm just going to put down 3. You can use what you'd like, just decorate this the way that for you looks best. So here's what that finished card looks like with the pinks and yellows together, and I just really like how these cards turned out, and they were super fun to make. Here's one in a little bit more of masculine colors. They're still kind of fun and whimsical, but maybe a little bit more masculine. So I hope you liked these cards and you'll take a chance to look at the Karen Burniston pop-up cards, and I hope you'll join me next time on the channel. Thanks for watching.